here in the United States, Judicial Watch reports that it has obtained new information regarding the University of Pittsburgh's use of fetal tissue in its scientific research. 34 pages of new records reveal Dr. Jeremy Berg from the University of Pittsburgh contacted then NIH Director Francis Collins to help combat efforts to undermine the research that uses tissue from aborted babies. And joining me now to discuss this is Meredith DiLiberto, attorney at Judicial Watch. Meredith, welcome back. Thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it. One more, can you tell us about the new records that Judicial Watch has obtained and the information in those reports?
Thank you so much for having me again, Tracy. This is just another piece of the puzzle. If you recall, these records that we helped Center for Medical Progress get showed some very concerning practices that University of Pittsburgh is engaging in, specifically that they might be altering the method of abortion so that they can better use the tissue. And there's a suggestion that they are harvesting organs and tissue from still living babies. They deny all of this and had an independent investigation, but that investigation really was not independent, and it was terribly biased, and they looked the other way. Almost 100 Congress lawmakers asked for an investigation, and rather than complying with answers to these lawmakers, what Pittsburgh did was contact NIH directly. And what it looks like they're doing is seeking help from the very agency that should be overseeing their compliance with help with bad publicity instead. It looks like doubling down and collusion, quite frankly.
It's also disturbing. Meredith, let's talk a little bit more about that. I mean, how significant is it that Pitt actually reached out to the NIH to get its help?
It looks pretty bad. We think it's very significant. Again, NIH is responsible for oversight. They are responsible for making sure that these schools, these researchers are using the tissue in the proper way. There are state and federal laws that must be complied with. And to go to the agency that is responsible for making sure that they are obeying the law, looking for help rather than being transparent, looks like the very opposite of that. It also looks like NIH might have a stake in it in terms of covering this up as well.
Meredith, can you talk a little bit more about how the university was using aborted baby tissue in its experiments? What exactly was it using it for?
We don't have necessarily, there's no list that shows this. What this particular grant was for was that tissue hub that they were referring to. This is Pitt's way of obtaining tissue from 6 weeks to 42 weeks. And keeping it sort of in storage for all sorts of researchers to come looking for. You have to trace each individual grant seeking that to find out what, in fact, they were used for. We do know that Pitt has been using scalps from aborted babies to grow on the backs and bellies of mice to create humanized mice. We know that they were using thymus and kidneys. What is most concerning is that it looks like they are changing the way the abortion is even done so that they can harvest better tissue, which is contrary. It's a violation of state and federal law. There's also a suggestion that these babies may be born alive and then harvested. And so whatever benefit Pitt purports to be getting from this does not condone what would be infanticide.
This is all so hard to fathom. And Meredith, we thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about it and shedding light on this. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for getting the word out.